ginger
avoid
ale
food.
because of my
Exactly.
No,
stomach.
I'm meaning straight up just drinking the food
Oh,
coloring.
but God, why in God's name would you?
Because
Ugh.
I didn't know it. I didn't know what it was at the time. This
Oh
was
my
ages
It can't
ago. I was like
taste good
7.
by itself,
It
right?
doesn't taste good.
No.
It's horrible. It looks good until you actually try it.
Well, it looks like liquid fruit roll up, right? You're like, look at
Pretty
that.
much.
It looks like
That's
pure
what I'm-
sugar.
That's what I was
Also,
thinking.
everybody,
That's what I was thinking.
if you work here and you do,
Oh,
I hope everybody
Whoop,
clocks in.
Oh shit! Yep, I
Go
have
clock
to do
in,
that.
clock in.
Oh, don't run in this room. You lose all control.
Yeah, food coloring does not taste good. Totally. I learned that when I was 7. Jeez.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the podcast. We are live. We're just missing a few people right now. They went to go clock in a little bit last moment. But I am here with Jimmy Blair and Shy Blair.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
Same,
What's
and I
up?
feel bad. I'm
Welcome
like,
back.
oh, God.
We're
Welcome
live.
back,
I wanna
guys.
take
We
all the
are
money
live.
for no reason.
Right. Hello.
Of course, we have Dr. Troy here with us and Benjamin Snowheart.
Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good night so far. Welcome to the podcast.
We would like to do a warning for today's podcast.
Oh
It's a bit
Oh,
more of a
no.
mature podcast tonight, guys. I'll let Dr. Troy say the segment he wanted to say.
Yeah, no, I again just wanted to provide a disclaimer for everyone that we're not responsible legally as a company for any car accidents or incidents that happen this evening while you're listening to the podcast. It's you're taking that risk into your own hands. But that's all. You know,
Oh god.
you've now agreed to this verbal contract, and welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And again, at hashtag podcast to interact with us. I'm sure people will have some things to say for what we're talking about
Oh,
this
probably.
evening. And whoever wants to kick that off, I feel.
Yes, I get the the little cough, like, yo, talk. I'm currently in the middle of doing a tweet out, letting people know that today's podcast is a bit, more
Yes.
different.
A little bit. And again, I do hope everyone's having a good day, night, whatever it looks like out there.
I don't understand the Danny person that just tweeted at me.
I don't understand him either.
Okay.
Is he a... Oh, the wings, right? Like a crow because of the black wings?
Yep.
Are you calling me a crow?
She is not the
Jesus.
crow. Brandon Lee is the crow, and he's no longer with us. But that's a different
I like
subject.
how this is the mature one out of all the ones we've done.
Yeah, we
Well,
had
you know.
shippers and all
Right.
that other shit.
Literally. Like,
Okay. So if
jeez.
everybody's wondering what today's podcast is going to be about, we're hitting a different tune tonight. We're going to be talking about sex. The good, the bad, the
Oh,
in-between,
yay.
the benefits, the health risks, everything. Because a lot of people don't realize, yes, it's a fun activity.
What am I here for then?
Yeah,
I know
hey,
nothing
why am
on
I
this.
here? Like, the fuck?
Well, you know some health benefits. And everybody knows something, some form, the risks in between. But a lot of people don't
Oh
think of
my
the reality of how it actually affects somebody's mental health. Not just their mental health, their physical ability. If you're not well, you can damage yourself. Everything in between. So welcome to today's medical segment.
Yes, and to start off, the connection with mental health is, definitely definitely a big point worth discussing. It's sexual activity deeply tied to that feeling of self-worth for some people. I mean, there's absolutely nothing wrong with asexuality if that's what your preference is in life. But if you are sexually active, it's very much tied to feelings of self-worth, and obviously a mental outlook perspective is very much tied to that feeling of self-worth. So it's definitely very closely related in that regard. I mean, in terms of physically, I mean, we all know for certain that, well, I mean, to put it this way, I guess it'd be the guys know, but girls, it's similar situation. Everybody knows that blowing a load is a good stress relief. Am I right? It's Jimmy's like,
Starting off
Indeed.
strong.
Indeed.
I am. I mean, but it's the truth, right? It's one of the besides feeling good physically, one of the reasons we like sexual activities because it's a hell of a stress relief. You get the dopamine, you get the
I'm about to say,
endorphins
yeah, the
running through your
dopamine,
body.
the
The
endorphin,
euphoria.
What a
euphoric
wonderful
feeling.
drug.
It's
Just
it's the most strongest natural drug you can do for
Just
your body.
bottle up dopamine and stick it in me daily because it's and yes, the innuendo is there. Thank you. It's
Oh
but,
god.
But I
yeah,
know, like, a lot of people don't think about it at the end of the day, it does a lot to somebody's mental health and your brain. Like, it goes really far into things, and a lot of people just overlook it because of the pleasure standard of it, of what it gives. And it's really crazy when you do the research and you see everything that it does to your body. Like the calories you burn, the ability of, it sending off the endorphins, the dopamine, everything that's a natural pain reliever on top of a natural high.
Just feels fucking good, let's be honest, right?
yeah. I mean, if you're doing it right, it's a hell of an
Yeah.
exercise regimen. I mean,
Oh my
if
geez.
you're doing it right, I mean, you gotta be putting the hip work in to really get the benefits that I'm talking about. But fucking hell, strengthen your core. Just fuck your brains out.
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm sorry, you gave the disclaimer. I'm not. It's
I mean,
people.
there was a disclaimer, so
I didn't get told what we were doing today, so I'm just out of any context whatsoever, okay? Like, I didn't get a disclaimer before this, okay? Just
That's true. You were a couple of seconds late when you walked in.
Yeah.
Sorry
yeah.
about that. Welcome to the discussion.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah,
gonna hear from
thanks.
everybody in our team today. We have a little bit of backups today. People who haven't, or who don't want to speak on behalf of themselves. It's fine. So you're gonna be hearing a little bit less of a few people today, but they're all still here.
I'm
We
gonna
won't
talk
talk about the
just not
subject
about
the
that.
entire time. I'm thinking what we can do is we can cover this concept for about the first half of the podcast, or however long we can string it along, and then we'll switch on to some other stuff.
Yeah, and as always, if you want us to discuss a specific topic, related or not related, hashtag podcast is the way to do it, and we'll be happy to discuss any topic you bring to us. So
I do know one thing on top of, the dopamine and everything that it gives you. Getting to the end when you have a migraine or like you are like or you have a headache or something is one of the worst feelings ever. Is trying to climb that fucking peak. 'Cause it hurts you. It just hurts you on the way there.
Honestly, I have to say yes on that, even though I haven't. But other ways, yes. It fucking hurts.
It does. Like you have that migraine and you're just trying to climb the mountain. Does not work. Like it hurts so
Honestly,
much.
I don't care about the migraine. I'm just like, damn, I want the fucking euphoria, man. Fuck this shit.
I mean, play through the pain, right?
Yeah,
That's
but
literally it.
sometimes it's so bad though. I've had the moment where it's just like the worst pain imaginable in my head. I'm like, fuck, I can't do this. I can't. Like, fuck me. Like, good lord, I wanted to do it, can't do
Literally.
it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Today's different. I don't know. I thought of something great. I can't think of shit to talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is always and when is sex not great subject matter? It gets people's attention. God damn it.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're not held
Oh,
accountable if anybody wrecks, by the way.
oh
Yes,
my
again,
Jesus
we're not
Christ.
liable. You listening to us talking about
Getting
whatever we're going to
on.
talk about. I mean, how you doing, Jimmy? You good? You still a little
Yeah, I'm
still a
fine.
little shocked?
I haven't experienced this. I've experienced foreplay though. That's something I have, but
Well,
yeah,
Just
nah.
do everything consensual, man. You know.
that's a pretty
Eh,
that's a pretty open and honest statement. I appreciate that. And foreplay is a significant part of sex. I mean, sex is a wide,
yeah.
encompassing, the entire body feels, the entire body can be sensual. Um, Going down on someone is a lot of fun. And,
Having the same
it's
return.
multiple orgasms possible through before even,
Oh
before
hell yes.
going further even gets started. So, I mean, there are a lot of essential parts of the body.
I just thought about something that me and my friends used to talk about growing up. Me and my girls, we'd have these personal conversations, like if they could never reach that peak. Um,
Guys,
sorry about that,
girls,
guys.
anybody in a relationship, make sure your significant other is
I just
orgasming.
heard
Jesus
a
Christ,
pig
what are you doing
die.
to yourself?
I just heard a pig die. My sis over there played
Oh,
Minecraft.
I heard an
Minecraft.
Enderman.
Oh, sorry.
I
Here,
didn't mean to make-
let me plug in the headphones. I didn't mean to have the speakers on here.
I just heard a pig die. Oh god. As I was trying to say,
Jeez.
um, growing up with a lot of my girls and everything, uh, we have those conversations about reaching those peaks and everything. Um, if there's something, when it comes to your partner or you, or if you need something extra there, don't be scared to bring in outside toys. Just like
I
Oh
mean,
a
my
yeah,
lot of
god,
they
please
there's
they
don't.
so
exist for
many
a reason.
people
You
are
can have
scared of that stuff though. That's the thing that I
Leave
don't
that tweet.
understand.
they view it as intimidation or they're not doing
That
something
too.
right, and it's like, nah, like, listen, we have some modern technology that is gonna make you fucking come so hard that you'll shake the foundations of the house. I mean, if I can use the tools you've got available, it's and
Oh,
as
I don't.
always,
Fuck that
like
shit.
any other part of, well, I mean, you're young yet, but like any other part of a relationship, communication is key. If you're not getting something somewhere, you got to talk about it, and that includes sex. It's you gotta
Oh, hold
lead
up. We're
people.
getting a lot of tweets at hashtag podcast. Okay. So
Yeah,
we're
right.
hearing from someone. I'm
Getting a
not,
lot of them.
his name's already out there. Sorry, Trey. You kind of did this to yourself. Talking about how your girl is constantly complaining that she doesn't. Well, there's a lot of ways you can actually work towards that to help her. A lot of the biggest things that stop people from reaching that end is stress.
Levante.
If you're
Levante, well,
Levante.
I'm
Fucking
actually
Levante.
I'm gonna start holding classes at this point, Levante. I will not just
Oh
safely,
god.
but effectively. Like
hold up, hold up,
let's
hold up.
talk.
Let me do my thing first, then you can talk for Levante. But just for Trey, for I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of women. If they're not all of them are the same, but hopefully some of my tips can help you. Like I was saying, stress is a very big indicator for a lot of people. If your woman's stressed, she's not gonna reach the peak. Not gonna happen. A lot of people need to be relaxed. They need to feel loved. And I mean, yes, you love them, but they need to feel it like in an overdose, basically. At that moment, you're caring for your partner. You're seeing them in a different light. It's vulnerable. It's exciting. It can also be scary. So you have to get down to the dirt and seriously do everything in your power to make sure they feel comfortable, make sure they feel loved, make sure there's no stress. If things are still not working out, you sit there, you have a conversation, you talk it out, you learn what's going on. If you're not doing something right, have them teach you. There's nothing wrong with a partner teaching someone else what to do. Like, you learn. That's how everything in this entire society happens. You are taught what to do if you're doing something wrong. And if you're doing something wrong, that's fine. Own up to it. Not everybody's fucking perfect. Every single partner you will have in your life is going to be different. No one's going to be the same.
Everyone
So
has their
it
turn-ons.
everybody has something different to them. Everybody likes something different. So there's not just this one manual that's set for each person. There's not just for set for guys, set for girls. It takes a lot to learn about your partner. And sometimes it takes hours. It takes years to get that kind of communication down. And if it takes time, it takes time. Learn how to love, how to get there, so when you're finally there at the moment, you will rock the fuck out of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. People are very insecure about sexual performance and ability, and it's like, listen, if you have communication with your partner, you're going to be a lot more effective at what you're doing. And always, just like anything else, you should be learning something new every day, and that includes sexually. You've never reached max sexual performance. Go learn something fucking new and keep it fresh. If I can bend her into a pretzel and fucking walk around the house just bouncing her up and down, I don't, whatever's clever, whatever you find that can be a good time, use it, utilize it, keep things fresh. You never want things to be boring, get stale. Keep your mind open. Whatever you're both comfortable with is shit. It's fair game, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just make sure you do everything safe, guys. That's the biggest key. Doesn't matter how far you go down, doesn't matter if you're into BDSM, vanilla, whatever you do. Just make sure you are safe. Masochistic, sadist, whatever. Everything comes with a risk. And you have to have the precautionaries for the aftercare. Definitely, if you're going down into the deeper rabbit hole from vanilla, guys, do your research. Make sure you know how what you're doing is going to affect somebody. Because you
Mm.
cannot just leave them afterwards, because that's going to put them in a very bad mental state. When people are sitting there giving their life to you for something that they're that into.
I had to go collect myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you're doing, especially when it comes to submissive dominant roles, there are things that can you want to make sure that people understand that this was for a sexual situation to stimulate. It's not, you don't want to leave people in a bad mental state, like Rarity said, regardless of what you're doing, or a physical state. I mean, you tear shit up, you wanna
You fix it.
put someone back together when you're done. Don't leave them again,
There's
drenched in the bed.
aftercare. There's aftercare for a reason, guys. Like, it reminds me of this doctor thing: chest compression, chest compression, chest compression. I'm gonna start saying aftercare, aftercare, aftercare. Like, that is the most important shit afterwards for anything. Even sometimes just normal sexual acts. Just being there for your partner. Don't just leave them on the bed. Get them water. Get them whatever they need. If they can't move at the moment, take care of them. Just don't leave them there. Because those are the most vulnerable points afterwards. And that
My
is what's going to strengthen a lot between people, is how you treat them at that most vulnerable point afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, my personal recommendation would be grab some water beforehand, because a good sexual session gonna
Be
gonna
fucking
take you
thirsty.
some time, and you might not want to move after. So
Or if you
if
can't
neither one of
move,
you want to get up, yes, exactly. I mean, if you're still if you're still bound in place, you're not the one getting up.
or if it done rocked your world, you can't move. You physically can't move.
Your back is out.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Your back is out, nah, bitch. I got sea legs, man. I can't walk.
yeah, absolutely. Turn into fucking Gumby.
Fucking can't stand for shit,
Nice,
Oh
little
my
snicker there,
Jesus
Jimmy. Yeah,
Christ.
Jimmy's interaction with this is mostly going to be disbelief.
man.
It's good to capture it
Oh,
though, because it's funny.
I had to fucking collect myself after that fucking pretzel line. Jesus.
But that's fairly tame, honestly. I mean,
I know, but I wasn't expecting it. No, it was more I was just standing there, just laughing because I was like, this is gonna go bad for me.
you want to talk
I'm
about
already.
you want to talk about G spots, Jimmy?
Max apparently
Hey.
wants you to read him a bedtime story, Dorian.
You know, you're not the first person that has asked me that, Grandpappy. It's work in progress. I'm gonna put out something, I think, at some point for people to listen to. In all honesty, because
Bedtime Pad podcast. Just listen here to
it's
Troy read a book.
Dr. Dorian Troy's sexual innuendo. It hopefully won't put you to sleep, but it'll do something for you.
If
Anyway,
you guys are, hold on. If you are just tuning into the podcast, welcome. This is a much more mature podcast today, guys. For the first beginning half. Um, be careful out there. Don't get any wrecks, guys. Remember, use hashtag podcast if you want to get in contact with us. Yeah. I'm
yeah,
gonna make a
absolutely.
tweet
We'd love
out,
to hear
so
from you.
Troy, take over.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jimmy, like I said, you want to talk about G spots, Jimmy?
I wouldn't
Ben?
have any fucking clue.
Yeah, no, that's
mean-
actually a pretty common answer. Listen, guys that are with women, you have to do a little digging, dig some tunnels, find
Oh yeah.
when you find somebody's personal spot. When it comes to women, things move around a little bit, but you find somebody's personal spot, you'll know when you found it. You know when you will literally strike oil. It's fucking.
Not just
Let-
because of the reaction, but also how it feels. It feels like a bit. I've heard from people. Speaking behalf, I'm gonna just put my business out there. Um, it could feel like somewhat of like sandpaper, but like a finer sandpaper. Like
Mhm.
it's different. Like you'll know it when you feel it.
Yeah, you think you've run into something that maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe you like, God damn, I've gone maybe too far. No, actually, you've gone where you needed to go, and yeah, the reactions are definitely so. It's do a little exploring while you're doing your thing. Different positions, different angles, and find that person's spot. And guys, y'all need to realize that your G spot is right by your
every spot.
prostate. Well, no, it's right by your prostate, Jimmy. You let
Nah, yeah.
you let somebody you let somebody
I
in.
was joking, but yeah.
Well, I mean, hey,
Am I wrong though?
it depends. If somebody knows what they're doing, like I said, every part of the body can be sensual. So it is possible to make someone have an orgasm through light touches on the body. It depends on the person.
How sensitive they are.
It depends on the person, and it depends on it depends on your experience level.
Some people are gifted at first, though. I've had that
So,
happen.
we've got a comment from Luca. He says, "Jimmy, wait till you get the double fisty McGawk 3000."
Jesus Christ, man.
Luke, I
What
do want to
the
say there's
fuck?
there's no need to stretch things literally quite that far.
No.
That might you're gonna have to recover after that one because
I-
whoo, God damn.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could do that.
On the subject, they're actual literal toys because, I mean, obviously a lot of men are very uncomfortable with this conversation, but there are specific things that, well, like on the subject of toys, that will assist with that. And, if the goal is to feel good, if the goal is to have a rock solid fucking, oh my God, I'm going to dream about that one orgasm, then you find different ways to get there. And, just listen to what I'm saying is all I'm saying, and keep an open mind. People are so quick to completely turn shit off, and it doesn't have to even be something like that. It's in general. Keep an open mind, keep things fresh, listen to
Like
your
I've
partner.
had okay, speaking behind, I'm supposed to be to myself. Um, I've had partners before who are so scared of a toy, and it's so sad because they see it as something that's gonna demasculine them, or it's going to be
What?
something that they should be scared of because this thing can do things that I can't. Yes.
That's not true.
No, some of them there's
Oh
rabbits,
yeah,
there's
no,
thruster toys, there's all this kind of
but
stuff that you can have.
there's nothing like a real one though.
Exactly. Yes, this toy standing right here in my hand, yes, it can do a lot of things. But it doesn't it does not have that passion. You
Does
It
it
need
also
it with your
feel
doesn't feel
partner.
the
right?
same. It doesn't feel the same. Yeah.
It does
I'm
one thing. It
It
might do it
does.
very well,
Yeah. But the thing is, when it comes down to it, it's not your partner. There's not that passion. There's not those emotions. When you're getting there and you're sitting there with your partner, you're laying there, whatever you're doing, and those raw emotions that are going to come from your heart when your partner is there. There's nothing like that compared to a toy. So people should not be scared of those things at all. They help.
it's just the it's just
It's
there to
there
get you
to
quick.
help and push things further. And some people need them to finish. Some people need them to have there within their time of need. And there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No, no, not a single bit. A lot of people, like you said, they view something with intimidation because they think it's a replacement. When no, like they're literally called
It's
sexual
definitely not.
aids for a reason. These things aren't just necessarily meant to be used by yourself. Use things together. I mean, I'm sure a fair amount of you folks it would get. I mean, especially considering that you're supposed to be 18 plus listening to this, but all you little motherfuckers, your parents. I didn't raise you anyway. I'm sure a fair amount of us that are listening or speaking on this have
Oh, but
watched
I have
porn.
no
I mean,
sayings.
you see how people can use toys depending on the porn that you're watching. It's like, just again, keep an open mind, keep learning new experiences so you can continually blow somebody's fucking mind and not just their mind. Like, let's soak some sheets kind of shit. It's all of you are just staring at me.
Yep.
Yep.
No,
Listen.
I mean, I have no experience in any of this, so I'm just kind of listening.
Yeah, I'm honestly the same. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
He's got to take another minute to collect himself. There goes
Sorry,
Jimmy,
I
ladies and
Like-
had
gentlemen.
to, I was in the
fine.
middle of having to take something to drink. I'm a thirsty
The only
bitch.
thing I really know about is like all the stuff that's like not even real or physical, just like things that are like I don't know, like chat rooms and stuff like that. Like I don't know anything that's any
Well,
real or
even if
serious.
it's just something like your erotic roleplay, guys, like there's still emotions when it comes to that. So that's still, that's even part of it. People sexting, doing whatever. All of that is some form of sex. You're getting that connection with your partner, whether you're there in person or not. So
Yeah, personally, I've only experienced foreplay, so I have no sayings.
Well, like I said, my man, that's a good. If you're doing things the right way, that can be a good 50% of a sexual interaction. I mean, Jesus, the
Just
mouth
having
is
some fun,
the
eh?
mouth is incredibly effective. Lips, tongue,
Hey,
your
I
voice.
do have experience in that, and I can say yes. Yes, it does.
We talk about audiophiles. Now, people who are like audiophiles, not an actual audiophile. The audiophile term, when it comes to people, are people who are turned on basically voice activation. They're turned on by a
Trash.
voice.
Oh,
By a
Yeah,
voice, by a
I'm
sound.
not trying to act innocent. Like I have zero experience. I genuinely have zero real life experience with any of this stuff. Like I am as virgin as the day I was born. Not even toys.
I'm like halfway there. I'm not even close.
Trey, for your experience, what you see with them doing their flirting or everything, that's just something they've learned to do. Just because that does not make they can still be innocent in the fact of not actually doing things. So
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I appreciate open, honest dialogue about different levels of sexual experience. We're all going to be different ages. We're all going to be at different places in our lives. We're all going to have done different things in that time period. There's no shame in lack of sexual experience, and there's no shame in
over in abundance.
yes. And it's whatever you've chosen to do in your life. That's
we're all different
point
paths.
blank period.
We're all on
Absolutely.
different paths. We're all on different roads. So we're all at
just
different
because I
points
can
in our lives.
just because I can talk dirty doesn't mean I do the dirty shit. Yeah.
I
we're all different. That's the thing that's the thing at the end of the day. It's just we're all real. Shit! I just noticed my lucky number. I could have had 666. I'm sad. I'm 669. I'm 69. Yeah.
Hey, you
I mean, that's still a fairly fortuitous
very
number,
good number.
actually. Those last two sixes are
That
just,
number.
they're taking our advice with the podcast.
It's extra long 6'9".
Oh, I just noticed that. No, that caught me off guard. Seeing my fucking number.
Oh Jesus.
No, but listen, goddammit, like I said recently, because I was saying, the mouth, lips, tongue, voice, gentlemen, a good fair amount of you, I like. It drives me crazy when I hear the typical sound a dude makes when he's acting like he's going down on someone, and it's like you sound like you're eating fucking chicken noodle soup. What is wrong with you, son?
It doesn't
Get
like
your lips on that clit, work your tongue, and get the bass in your voice vibrating that skin. I mean, what the fuck are you doing? You're driving me crazy. You're driving me crazy.
Jeez.
The
It's
accent's
actually
coming
not too
out,
far
y'all.
off, but honestly.
Fucked up Troy, man. Get the accent out. He's gonna go on all of y'all.
A little bit of
Oh,
East Coast when I'm like, listen, I've reached my limit, y'all.
that brought up
Please,
some memories. Jesus.
I'm gonna start a class. Come to my class. I'm gonna teach you how to eat pussy. It's
Oh fuck, I'm out here. I know how to do it compared to like these 25-year-old Jesus.
Oh my god.
Oh, that brought some
I'm
memories
serious,
back when
though.
you said that. Jesus.
I'm
Wow.
serious though. The sound drives me crazy because you're obviously listen. Just educate yourself. Is all I'm saying. Educate yourself.
Practice makes perfect, also.
It's more of a flicking sound.
Well,
than
I
a
mean, yeah,
noodle eating sound.
yeah. Don't be fucking eating chicken noodle soup. What are you doing down there? I mean,
Oh my
clearly,
God. It's more of a soft flicking sound more than like, what the fuck are you doing?
well, and again,
Like, what the
get the
fuck?
bass. Get the bass in your voice, doing
Oh,
some
so
vibration
Dorian,
things, and
Trey says that he's gonna teach the class with you because he says it's an art.
it is an art.
It is an art.
Anything you do well, especially sex, is an art form. Two people bringing each other to absolute fulfillment. What's not artful about that?
I mean, that's true.
We literally make art about the act. Even in classical periods, some of the best sculptures are of nude figures that we still hold culturally very close to our hearts. It's like it's a very, unless you're asexual, it's a very big part of what makes you who you are if you're sexually active, if you're a sexual person. Taboos, especially in America, are so we hurt ourselves mentally on so many different levels by embracing cultural and social taboos, uh, and that's not healthy. And I'm not even specifically talking about homosexuality or anything like that. I'm talking about the social taboos regarding nudity and certain activity. It's like, listen, people can't do, reputation can spread very quickly because of social taboos, things like that. It's like, listen, this
Okay, so it
let
sounds
people have fun.
we are getting a question out here. We're being told to get on topic. Somebody wants to learn how to pleasure their woman. Well, I'm gonna give you some
Simon,
advice, Simon. Coming from a woman, listen to her. If you want someone to teach you the ropes, you want someone to show you the way step by step, listen to your woman. Listen to how she talks to you. Look
No
how
one knows their body
Jimmy,
more.
shut up. Listen to how she talks to you. Look at how she looks at you. A woman's body will tell you every single thing you need to know. Some of them are voice activation, some of them are touch activation. Yes, I talk like we're robots. But learn, test every single thing out there, man. There's different ways for every single person. It's not one straight getaway. Somebody can have 15 different start activation buttons.
Absolutely.
And it just takes the time to learn them. We can tell you all the tips, we can tell you all the tricks out there. But at the end of the day, what it takes is you getting down and just trying every single thing. If it's not working out, she doesn't like it, she'll tell you, man. Like, yo, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah, it's never a personal failure if something doesn't work out, but you got to use the quote unquote, you've got to experiment with your partner, with partners, whatever you're doing. It's not learning something new, repeating the same mistakes is not going to make you a better sexual partner.
Just talk with them, sit there, have the communication. Once I said before, guys, if your woman's having an issue, make sure she's not stressed. Stress is a very high thing that keeps people from doing anything when it comes to sex, no matter even if they're into it or not. Subconsciously, you can be extremely stressed out, and it's gonna just ruin the fun for both of you guys. So, rather you are male or female, please make sure your partner is calm, they're fine, they're okay before you start anything. Because the more level of clarity they have, the more into it they're going to be able to be.
Yeah, I mean, clearly sexuality is far than just physical, mental, emotional connections on different levels. Sex for the sake of sex will never fulfill you the same way as making love with someone will, simply because there's a deeper level of connection. I mean, orgasming is always great. Like I said, it's a stress relief, it releases endorphins, but the benefits that you're getting from a purely sexual encounter as opposed to an emotional and physical encounter are clearly different.
The emotions are what's going to get you hooked. Like that emotional high you'll get with your partner is one of the best things that there's nothing that can recreate it, honestly.
No, not at all. And that's why, again, folks should not be afraid of experimentation, toys, it's communication, because again, there's no failure if you're learning and adapting and changing and getting better. I'm sorry, Simon. I'm sorry. Like I said, I am not responsible for any consequences. You go to jail because you were listening to what I'm saying and you get caught, you get in a car accident. You know,
What What did I just read?
You're
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
the person you're in a relationship with starts looking at you funny because they like it's like, hey, I'm not responsible for anything that happens.
Not
And
held
it-
accountable.
Not at all. Not at all. But I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Glad you're tuning in, even though whatever you're doing is, illegal. But thank you for tuning in. Man, you just
Well-
put yourself out on Twitter, though. So,
It could be a consensual robbing of a house. You never know. I mean, people do interesting things.
well, that is.
Yeah,
that
maybe
is
it's to
true.
test their security system or something. You don't know.
No, I wouldn't think that Simon would do anything nefarious at all. That he's fine. He's fine.
I mean, you never know. Like you never know what's going on. So if he says it, it's could be anything.
Besides, if the police officers are doing what they should be doing, they're tuned into the podcast, completely like just enraptured with what we're talking about, and they won't be able to do anything anyway.
I mean,
What?
I
I am
mean,
not
yeah.
a
Well, anyway.
fucking crow. What the hell? Getting a weird.
oh,
tweet.
okay, well,
Moist.
I'm
There's
apparently
there's a wonderful little $5 gem. Just go ahead and it's moist. Jesus.
What the hell, man?
Jesus
Fucking not a
Christ.
crow. I'm an angel. Thank you.
That happens to have black
Nah, you're
wings.
a devil. You
Fallen
devil.
angel,
Fallen
perhaps.
angel with the horns, not a bird. Fuck off.
Okay, Simon, well, I tried. Best of luck to you. Like I said, maybe they won't even be paying attention.
No, I think they're paying attention to the podcast. Hi, PD. How you doing?
I hope they are.
Hey,
some of
yo,
those
Billy,
police
if you're
officers.
out there listening to this, tweet at me. Let me know.
Hey, Billy. I mean, just stop on by. We'll be happy to include you in this discussion.
Every time man's come by fucking Rockford Record, there's always been someone naked.
yeah, there really always is here. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say there's often someone nude in this building kind of as a standard. It's actually company policy, ladies and gentlemen.
It is company policy.
And once a day,
Insane.
someone
Oh,
is
there-
randomly
oh,
assigned
oh.
to strip. Oh, and okay. Well, and there it is. It's actually, it looks like there were a few short straws in the bunch today because a few people just went, you know what? It's getting a little warm in here.
Everybody's wondering what just happened.
Hey, it's
Everybody
summer.
made
It's
some
summer in my
shirt.
country. It's fucking boiling, man. Jesus.
Jimmy is ass out. Literally ass out.
In city, in heat too. Let's go.
Oh, good lord.
Oh dear God.
It's hot. It's hot. It's summer. It's fucking hot.
Fully nude. If you listen
Jesus.
very carefully, you can hear the sound of skin separating from leather when he shifts in his seat. It's fully nude, ladies and
Yup.
gentlemen.
I'm gonna just start dancing now. What up?
I'm
Yeah,
in my underpants and it's hot.
Podcast.
It's
means
hot
got
as a
naked.
motherfucker here.
No,
man.
fully
Dumbo.
nude, just ass cheeks on the seat.
Oh, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that far yet.
You
but,
gotta just
know.
commit to it fully.
I mean, that would make me feel uncomfortable, honestly.
Oh, good lord.
Jesus.
All right. Well, thank you all again
I'm
for
being
tuning in so
serious,
far.
too.
We're obviously having quite a bit of fun with a pretty, mature and serious discussion that a lot of people don't like to have. So if you're
Yeah,
tuning in,
definitely, guys.
you are enjoying it. Thank you. You want to communicate with us? #podcast. We'll talk about any topic you've got. Whether you're coming at us serious, you're coming at us with a joke, we'll appreciate it no matter what. Because it is, it's a serious topic, but it's also an incredibly amusing topic. So, I mean, again, like I said, if you're a sexual person, sex can encompass a fair part of your personality. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong if it doesn't either. Again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with asexuality or any type of sexuality. You're expressing yourself in the way that you've chosen to. And there's no shame in that.
Of course, Stephanie, and for people who don't know what asexuality is actually, it's a person who has no, if I am correct, of remembering it correctly, person who does no sexual acts whatsoever with anybody.
Correct. Yes. And
They
that
thought I
doesn't
was asexual
necessarily
first.
mean it's important too that people realize when someone tells you they're asexual, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are unavailable for a relationship on an emotional level or that they don't flirt, they don't like feeling appreciated. It's simply that the physical act of sex isn't for them. And some people have different levels of asexuality. Some folks say, no penetration, but foreplay, I'm completely down with. That's why communication is super important.
Always, always, always communicate, guys. And also, there's people that are
What's that
just
beeping sound?
strictly platonic. Also, you know, there's all different levels of everything, and just everybody just do your research, guys.
Do your research,
That is one
communicate, and
message
keep
I feel
learning.
like the podcast team should always, tell everybody: do your research, no matter what it is. Do your research. You can never learn too much.
Well, it's like, I hear from so many men of different age groups when you talk about sex of, oh no, I know what I'm. And it's like, listen, yeah, we all do. Don't we fucking all? But listen, what do you know about tantric experiences? How many pages of the Kama Sutra have you read? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. There's always something new to learn, always something interesting in life, in sex to experience. Learn something new. Look some shit up. There have been a lot of people that have lived on this earth for thousands of years that have done some really freaky shit. That's a lot of fun, and you should go and learn about it.
Don't be a stick in the mud.
Hey, true.
Always be willing to learn something.
Hey, buddy. Jimmy is literally coming out of that shell a little bit now.
Nah, I've been coming out of my shell the last few weeks.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm talking specifically in terms of no clothes, pretty much wearing nothing but a diamond necklace and grinding up on
Hey,
that counter.
you gotta wear the drip, man.
You know what
matter if
I've
you're
always
naked or
wanted to
not.
do? A complete thought. Howard Stern once upon a time supposedly made somebody orgasm by just pure bass, like into the microphone, and I've always wanted to try that at some point.
I've heard that's
Just
possible, just like
it's-
how the roar of an engine can do it as well.
Well, I
The
mean,
roar
I
of an
know it.
engine, motorcycle can also do it to some people.
Honestly, the vibrations.
I know it can do it in person. Like I said, you put your lips up against somebody and use the bass in your voice to get some vibration going. That's a hell of a fucking thing.
Unless you have
but
asthma, don't give it to their chest. It'll
vehicles,
kill
man.
them.
like, yeah, it was just one of these days and be like, turn your bass up.
Oh, good lord. I'm gonna die.
Fucking vehicles, those vibrations. Holy shit.
And just get
it makes me uncomfortable.
uncomfortable in a good way. I mean,
not when I'm sitting on a public bus, no.
well, you put yourself in the situations you put yourself in, my friend. That's
How did I put myself in that situation?
you got on it.
To go to work, yes.
Well, I mean, that's still a situation you were in. I'm just giving you a hard time. That's
I know.
That's an awkward situation.
It is a very awkward situation. It sucks.
And again, folks, if you've got anything you want to add to this #podcast, we'd be more than happy to hear from you. We've got some time left. We've only got probably what
10 minutes left of this segment before we go to the
Yes.
next one.
Yep, absolutely.
Yay,
So,
finally.
oh god. Well, again, to close everything out, yeah, I will reiterate: communication is key. Keeping an open mind is key. Being willing to accept new experiences is key. We were discussing off air just to prepare for segment material, things like that. It's like in a role of dominant and submissive, a lot of people are firmly placed into either roles, and it's as I've said, there's a lot of pleasure to be experienced in either role. There's pleasure to be experienced in having power in a sexual situation, and there's a lot of pleasure to be experienced in being powerless, comfortably powerless in a sexual situation. Obviously.
You iterate the comfortableness, guys.
Yes, absolutely.
When somebody's willing to give their soul, not so being a submissive, for people who don't know, somebody does that. They're giving their entire self to you, not just mind, body, but also soul. They're letting you take control. And for a lot of people, that is something that is so in depth, that takes so much out of people, and it can be really draining. As fulfilling as it feels, when you do something like that, that can be extremely draining the very first few times you do something like that. So please be careful, be cautious, and just go slow sometimes with your partners. Definitely if it's their first time being a submissive, first time, doing something like that, there's no need to rush. If a sexual act is going to take 7 hours, it's going to take 7 hours, but you're going to fucking enjoy every single moment of it. Things don't have to be rushed. It doesn't have to happen within fucking 5 minutes. And
oh God, no, hopefully not.
Take your time, enjoy it. The longer you take sometimes, the more increased pleasure is going to happen at the end. But seriously though, if somebody is giving the chance to let you dominate them, do it wisely and do it carefully. Make sure the boundaries have been set. Make sure there's been the safe words. Make sure if they are being ball gagged or something, make sure they have a way to raise that white flag, like, yo, stop, hold up, I need a break. Make sure everything is set and precautionary, guys.
Very true. I mean, and for certain equipment, quick releases exist for a reason. If you're into, it's just and make sure you're making the right choices with what you're using to keep yourself literally and your partner literally safe. Because you don't want to turn a really good experience into a really bad experience.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people who go into that depth of, giving themselves to someone like that, it can turn really bad really fast, and it can be a scary situation at that point because of how far they're willing to open up and give themselves to someone.
Yeah, it's very true. That's why, again, reiteration of communication, and in a whether it's sexual experiences or any aspect of the relationship, communication, recognizing you've chosen to be on a path with someone that is going to require you to assist each other in walking it. It's communication, cooperation, whether it comes to uh, just everyday. Well, sex is an everyday part of the relationship, but non-sexual aspects of the relationship or just entirely sexual aspects, communication, cooperation are going to get you both exactly what you want.
That is 100% true.
I'm sorry, I'm just out of this conversation. I'm so hot. Holy fuck.
We've raised the temperature of this room quite a few degrees, folks. I'm very sorry.
It's 27 Celsius, right? Holy fuck, it's hot.
Anybody want to transfer that Fahrenheit for me?
What is it? Plus, I forget exactly what it is. I used to know. I don't use Celsius as much anymore, but hang on.
It's 80.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
I was gonna say that's not. Yeah, we're December here.
I'm in a cold country, man. This is fucking boiling.
We're December and in the middle of winter in the northern hemisphere in the United States, and it's way too fucking warm than what it should be. So a little concerning, a little concerning. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Though.
it's warm for you. I currently have nice cold air coming in from my window.
Oh, it
Mm-mm.
just went up to 29.
It's heckin' freezing here.
I wish it would
What
freeze.
were you saying,
It's,
sis? You're a bit quiet over there.
It's heckin' freezing here.
How cold is it for you right now?
At night, in Fahrenheit, it's been getting down to like 30.
Yeah, it's 37 currently for me.
It's 48 currently for me.
37 Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. Sorry.
Yeah, for the next like 7 days, it's supposed to be 20. It's 29 right now. It's boiling.
By the way, in Celsius, that's 2 degrees Celsius.
Well, so that's what my thing is right now. 2 degrees Celsius. Woo.
well, it goes off of a freezing point. So 32 degrees, and that's what knew I had 32. Jesus. Okay, so 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing point. 0 degrees Celsius is freezing point. So no matter what you're doing, you're always adding 32 to the difference.
Okay. Well, if that's true, what? No.
There's more to it than that. I know
About to
that's
say,
the
yeah, because if we're doing
difference in the
that,
freezing point.
that means it would be 30.
Because you also add like a
32 for me right now.
percentage of it
What a
or something
podcast
like
from
that. I don't
sex
remember.
to temperature conversion.
Very, very quickly. Yes. Well, we actually did officially reach the end of the first segment.
Oh yeah, the
so
first segment
we're kind of
is over,
freewheeling
so-
now. So literally, folks, if you have any comments, anything you want to talk about, even if it's the last segment, because we can bounce back and forth, but just free association time, really. Say what comes to mind. We are basically doing the same thing. And again, I thank you all so much for joining us. We hope you're having a great day, night so far, whatever it is for you personally in your perception of reality. I hope it's been a good one for you. And Jimmy and Shy, welcome to the conversation now that we're on another segment.
Okay, so it's now 84 Fahrenheit for me. Fucking hot.
It's going up
Jesus.
very quickly. You keep talking about it and
He's
it
got a
keeps
heater
rising.
in his room. He's got a heater in his room just
No,
to make it
no.
He's like,
panic.
it's going up.
No, it's literally not. I've got my window open. It's still fucking 29. Damn it. It's so fucking hot. I need to go. I honestly, I need to stop and go have a cold shower. Fucking hell.
And Jimmy's out. He's done. He's gone. Ladies and gentlemen,
left the building or the room, not the building. He's still in the building.
Okay, I just made a tweet. I forgot to use hashtag podcast, but whatever. Shy, my sissy did it for me.
cool. And yeah, again,
Jimmy,
please.
go take a shower if you need to. It's fine. You don't
Nah,
need to
it's fine.
suffer from heat.
It's fine. I'm good.
Just go put some cold water on your face, at least,
I said to took the fan too. God damn it.
Okay. So how about next topic? What should we talk about?
I am absolutely open to anything. It doesn't even necessarily have to be medical related, folks. You got any comment you want us to talk
go
about?
through your normal spill about medical marijuana? We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah,
Sign the
well,
petition, guys.
I mean, everybody that has listened before knows how I feel about certain substances that can provide people with relief or some sort of positive reinforcement of some sort, that help people. Medical marijuana is clearly one of those things. I read an article recently, very recently, like yesterday, about a mother who is treating her son's autism with medical marijuana, and he's young. He's a young boy, but it's at a situation where any possible harm developmentally that marijuana might do obviously doesn't outweigh the benefits that this child could receive. And this child is getting his personality back that he
there it
lost
is.
as he started to get older, into
Oh,
his
there's
childhood.
0 days without an incident. Awesome. Zero.
Yeah, I mean
We were a
it
few
never
days
fails.
without an incident, but
I saw a
no,
spider. I had to get it. I'm sorry, Ben.
it's back down to 0 days without an
Nah, it's
incident.
good. I mean,
Everybody wondering what just happened. My sis just sucker punched the fuck out of my husband.
It
No,
did.
it
It
was the
did
spider.
happen.
It was the spider. It
Poor,
just so happened Ben's face was in the way.
poor Ben just got a nice, like a middle finger to the upper lip there. Smack. What do the 5 fingers say to the face? But anyway, yeah, it obviously has immense benefit in many different types of situation, even as simple as stress relief. So I bring all of this up to say, go down to 308, show the business some support, and get yourself onto the petition so we can get it fully legalized, stop criminalization. It wastes the cops' time, it wastes people's time, it's a waste of money for something that literally helps people. Having false limits, you've already partially allowed it in the city. Having false limits is just creating problems for people unnecessarily. Like the 10 grams business, you've legalized it, people are walking around with it, but you're penalizing them for the amount that they're carrying. And I get distribution and all of that, but listen, there's a point in time where you got to say enough is enough. Let's fully legalize this. It's benefiting people. It shouldn't be restricted to certain people or amounts or things like that. I mean, Jesus Christ, what if you want to go to the store, buy yourself a couple of ounces to last you however long it's going to last you instead of going every day or whatever? It's just, it doesn't make sense. So sign that petition, get it fully legalized, support Smoke on the Water, and support substances that are medically proven to show benefits. Again, like I always say, if something is going to help you, it shouldn't be ruled out. I mean, of course, like I've said before, there are other propositions out there like medical cocaine. You support the medical cocaine initiative, go sign that petition because, I mean, who's to tell you?
To speak to Trey about what he just said about the fact they took 20 joints from you. That is because you can only hold 10 on you actually. If you
And that's
have
what I'm saying.
anything more than that, they're gonna I don't know. They see it as an opportunity that you have the chance to sell it. Um, that's what we're speaking on right now. Is the fact they should really kind of raise it because I don't know about you guys, but I get stressed out so much so easily, and I'm tired of chugging like 27,000 fucking sodas in a day. Like joints. Medical marijuana helps so much more, and I don't want to have to go to cigarettes. I'm like, I don't want the nicotine. I don't fucking care for that shit. Just let me have my weed, man.
And I'll say too, on the subject of going a little further, what I was talking about before in terms of cocaine, in all seriousness, cocaine is a less deadly substance than medically prescribed Ritalin or Adderall. It's
Oh my god, it's so true. Fuck.
certain things are demonized and stigmatized because of history, political, cultural taboos, which I was talking about before, and how dangerous they can be. But meanwhile, when it comes to capitalism or
One
corporations,
moment. I have to go into my head, so Troy and Ben take over.
yeah, and
okay.
in
My cam's back on
capitalism
for this one.
and corporate environments, people let things slide. Like so many medications get FDA approval that should never get FDA approval because they
Like-
literally kill people.
Literally Ritalin though, like you were saying, that fucks you up so bad.
Yeah,
Like
it's really for the money at that,
fucking
Uh,
9 years it took for me to get off that shit. Holy fuck, it was horrible. It fucks your metabolism for sure.
Yeah, in all honesty, for something that does something similar in terms of addressing attention span and energy levels, I would rather bump cocaine every single fucking day than do Ritalin or
Exactly.
Adderall. And I
Like,
don't do
Ritalin
either,
is
to be clear, but to make the
terrible.
choice, cocaine is far less damaging to you for similar
Ritalin,
results.
it just it just fucks your brain up so badly.
Yeah, and
I experienced that shit, and it's fucking horrible, especially with how
Adderall,
they did it.
Adderall, cocaine, you take yourself off of it. Like coke or not Adderall and Ritalin rather, you take yourself off of it. There are significant withdrawals you're going through. You're not gonna suddenly it's a much longer process than like you do a bump of cocaine, and there's going to be withdrawal if you stop, but it's not going
I
to be
switched.
like that horrible
Yeah,
those horrible drugs.
I had to switch to tobacco and weed because it was just so bad.
Hmm.
Because like I couldn't do it without weed. Honestly, weed honestly took me out of that like cycle of having to take those pills. Are fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the cannabinoids, THC, all of the different compounds in marijuana, each do different things positively, physically, mentally, and they truly can help with those situations. For anybody that's trying to stop an addiction, even if it is
Weed
tobacco,
weed is very good because it takes that
yes,
stress away. It takes that
yes,
stress and that urge away to need constantly be taking it because that's all you've been told that you need your whole life is fucked.
yeah, exactly. And a big part of addiction is not just physical addiction, but a mental addiction to this as well. Because, like you said, Jimmy, you've been told or you feel that you need this in order to function, and
Yeah.
marijuana helps you get out of that mindset.
As a 7-year old, like being constantly told you need to take this, you need to take this, getting taken off it is very difficult because you've had that process in your head for so long that you've needed it. And then when you go off it and you realize that it's actually been hurting you more than it's been helping you, it just confuses you and you get scared and anxious and paranoid because
Yeah.
you've been told for so long that this is a miracle that you've been able to get this, but it's not. It's hurting you. It's way worse for you. It's just it hurts honestly that they put people through that just to get money out of it. It just fucking sucks, honestly.
It's the pharmaceutical industry is case in point to how damaging capitalism can be if it doesn't have safeguards in place to protect the people of whatever country capitalism is, you know, uh, taking place in. On a side note, I did want to say because I noticed some at the podcast, Oliver Rockford Records absolutely loves Blackout Security as well. Could not be more excited for the partnership. It's
Hey,
just absolutely fantastic, and we appreciate you boys tuning in while you're doing the job down there too. It means a lot.
Yeah, it
And
really
Trey,
does.
Trey, I completely agree. It's absolute bullshit. It's false ceilings so they can make money off of fines and charges, and it's all so unnecessary. It does not benefit the people, and ultimately, something shouldn't be done if it doesn't benefit the people. Again, you've already partially allowed this, but you're allowing certain limits, which gets people into trouble unnecessarily. Like I said, if you live some distance from the store, you want to stock up. You don't want to go back for a while. You can't do that because of these ridiculous limits that they have imposed. It's like, again, once you've already accepted something, you just accept it. Don't partially accept it. Sitting in a limbo situation is damaging in any respect. But yeah, going back to what we were saying, Jimmy, it's just the pharmaceutical industry.
it's
It's
honestly
very
it's
funny.
terrifying. It's terrifying. Yeah,
It's very
and
funny
funny.
because
Eh,
certain substances, because they can be grown and it can have money made off of them by certain people that aren't in that government or corporate circle, that money circle. They're demonized because that's the thing that they can't control. So it's not that these things might actually be
Yeah,
as terrible for you or as evil as they say. It's like they can't make as much money off of it as they want to. Or
and
in the
that's
case of the American government and drug cartels, hopefully I don't catch a bullet for this one, but in the case of the American government and the drug cartels, like with Reagan, they keep things illegal because they make more money doing it illegally. The
and
government's
that's
still making money off of the blow you're putting up your nose, even though they say they
yeah,
don't like it and it's illegal. They're the reason that you have that to put up your fucking nose. That's
exactly. They're
capitalism.
the ones that provide the ingredients that are able to make that
I,
happen. That's why
a lot of people don't
it's
understand. and it's a great thing to talk about. America invaded Afghanistan, and they had this occupation situation for years. One of the things that can grow fairly well in Afghanistan is cotton, but American corporations wouldn't allow the American government to allow the Afghan people to grow cotton in their own country because it would affect American competition in the market. So
Yep, it's
instead,
fucked.
what America made the Afghan people do is grow opium and
Yep.
send it to the States. That's
Yep,
heroin,
it's
folks.
so
That's
bad.
literally opioids, opium. That's, the compound
Yep.
for a lot of pharmaceuticals and different drugs. Literally
It's
heroin that they're sending to the
it's
country, that they're forcing these people to grow because they won't let them grow other crops. That is that's the empire. That's empiricism. That's empirical attitude. The people say America is the empire of the day. There's no other way to believe it when you're doing things like that.
Yep. It's honestly scary what governments do to make money. Like it
I'm
doesn't matter
fairly certain
what.
there's a U.S. base. Like New Zealand has given up ground for a U.S. base. I'm sure. So many different nations
Yeah,
have.
there is. There's
Hmm.
2 US bases here.
It's there. It is. You know how many New Zealand military bases there are in America? I'm sure everyone can
0.
guess. None. Zero. Yes, exactly.
There's the only people I've heard of that actually go over there are NZMPs or
Hmm.
like peacekeepers. They're the only ones that actually go over there because like that's the only use they have for our country. But yet we've got bases and stuff filled with missiles and shit that they've hid away. It's like
Yes,
it's very scary.
ladies and gentlemen, we are the United States of America. We'll be more than happy to fill your country up with very big bombs. Just, you don't even have to ask. We'll come to you. We will come to you.
Literally. There's literally big silos in our hills and shit that are literally filled with
I
missiles
remember,
from the
I rem-
US.
I remember when I went to Fort Leonard Wood to train. I don't think it's actually true because nuclear bases have to be like, but there was always the rumor of,
Yeah, there's
you've
not
got
nuclear here because we have nuclear bans, luckily.
like
We've only got like ballistics.
these assholes would always tell us, you've got CBRN under you right now, which is chemical, biological, radiation, nuclear. Like you've got some really
Yup.
nasty shit right around you right now.
Yup.
So just keep that in mind. It's like, oh,
We're
well,
very
thanks.
lucky that we banned all that shit because I bet you for a fact that our country would have nuclear and biological weapons all over the country if we didn't do those like bans and shit. Luckily, we only have ballistics because I bet you we would be a target if we had nuclear and biological. So I'm happy we got rid of that shit. We're one of the
Mhm.
most peaceful and safest countries to be in because of that reason.
Right. Yeah. Man, there's nothing better for a nation than to not get into the nuclear race. The problem is, and again, another significant problem with the United States is we try to impose so many restrictions on people gaining nuclear power. Like, the idea of nuclear power is you can make a bomb with it, absolutely, just like you can make a gun out of gunpowder, or you can make many different things out of gunpowder that don't necessarily hurt people. Same thing with nuclear technology. Obviously, nuclear power plants. Iran right now, that was the big problem between Iran and the United States, is Iran is trying to be more self-sufficient on its energy grid
Yep.
through nuclear power. But
Yep.
immediately the United States goes, no, you're going to build a bomb. Well, no, you're
Yep.
forcing these people to make drastic decisions because you've already said, all right, this is what
You're
you're going to do.
basically threatening them, even though there wasn't a threat to begin with.
Exactly. Well, literal threats. We so many literal threats against nations that are simply trying to get on the same level that the
they're,
United States is on.
they're just trying to grow their economic like grid, and then they end up going to these drastic measures because they're terrified that they're going to end up being one of the targets. So it's all stress, and people just don't know how to handle it. So naturally, they're going to build a bomb to protect themselves. It's
Yeah.
that's just how the human brain works. If you think you're going to get hit, you make a bigger bomb. It's like it doesn't. It just it's just turning into a more and more conflictful situation. Even though they're just trying to make a living on their own territory, they can't do it because of these other countries that
I'm
have
back.
bigger, better weapons. It's just
Welcome
fucked.
back. And yeah, very true. You made a very good point with escalation. When people feel threatened, they grab a bigger stick. And when they see you grab a bigger stick, they're going to go for a fucking until you get to a tree trunk kind of situation. And that's literally what the whole Cold War was two countries building bigger bombs to try and outcompete each other. And that's why something like Tsar Bomba exists today. Folks, if you haven't seen Tsar Bomba, it's TSAR bomb, and that'll bring you to it. It's the
There's one
biggest
here.
bomb ever. And when they go off, when you see one go off, if you don't look at the sky or whatever you believe in and go, "Oh my god," then I don't know, man, because that's one of the more insane things that I've
There's
ever seen.
there is one bomb that the US made that was way more powerful than they were expecting because of what they put into it. They were
Mm-hmm.
expecting it to. I think that's the one you're talking about, or
Oh, that one
it's
is
either.
Russian. You're talking about the one at
Oh, it's the Russian.
the Bikini Atoll in the
Yeah,
50s.
that
Late.
thing is terrifying.
That's another thing too. Like, folks, go look at a map and look at the Bikini Atoll area. I forget exactly which island, but the atoll itself is. You look at the geography of the area. It didn't always look that way. It was a nuclear
Nope.
testing ground for the United States, even though there were people living there. And we completely destroyed the geography with bombs that went boom a lot bigger than we were expecting.
Yeah, there was this one specific one that was like 1,000 times stronger than what they were expecting because they put a new material into it because they thought it would be about the same as uranium, but it was 10. I think that was an antimatter type bomb.
It's
It was fucked.
purified
It was
hydrogen.
fucked. Yeah,
was
purified hydrogen.
One of the
It
first
was
purified hydrogen bombs, and yeah, purified
it
hydrogen
was
goes. It's a
1,000
big
times
boom.
stronger. Oof. They weren't expecting that, that's for sure. Their bases were way too close when they did that one.
I've actually seen a purified hydrogen bomb. They're really fucking crazy. But putting your hands on something like it's like Jesus Christ, this could kill me and many people around me and miles around. This is terrifying. I'd never want to see it again.
Like, exactly. It's scary to think that people can make such a deadly weapon that can kill millions and millions of people with just a flip of a switch. Like, it's terrifying, honestly.
Yeah, that's the and to kind of circle back around to a medical standpoint. That's why it's communication is important on a global level too. You don't communicate, you get into unnecessary conflict that leads to world-ending bombs, folks. World-ending bombs. Be nice to each other. Don't be a world-ending bomb.
Because, like, when you flip that switch, the other country has a time of when they can also flip their switches, and then on top of that, other countries will start flipping their switches, and it will just end up turning into a really bad situation.
Oh,
Because
that's
in
the
that time frame, there could be 1,000 bombs up in the air at one time and just destroy everyone. It's scary to think about.
yeah.
Because
I mean,
in
Nuclear
retaliation, they want to do it.
that's the
Nuclear
MAD
warfare is
principle. You know,
terrifying.
mutually assured destruction. One goes in the air, everybody's going to launch, and we're all gone. Which is why nobody's ever launched except for the United States back when we were the only ones to have the damn things. And actually, we didn't launch at that point. We dropped them from big ass planes. But point stands. You know, there's
Now
a
we've got
reason.
now we've got international ballistic missiles that can hold a nuclear warhead and easily hit anywhere in the world. It's terrifying.
Really, the biggest modern problem has not even been. I mean, nuclear destruction is always going to be a problem now that it exists. But and the biggest problem I think that exists in modern warfare that causes so much unnecessary death are drone strikes because
Yep.
they're emotionless. They require practically nothing. Someone in Las Vegas is literally Las Vegas in that area is where the air base is at. Will go into a little trailer, sit down at a computer, and
Kill
kill
thousands.
actual people. That should
You
never
could
be.
be you could be sitting on your couch, and then all of a sudden, there's news that someone's just blowing up like 1,000 people because of a drone strike. It's like fuck.
And the
It
United
kind
States
of
gets to
snaps you
say,
back.
"Whoops, we got that wrong," whenever the hell they want. Basically, that's not a sustainable situation in any aspect.
It really isn't. It's fucking terrifying, especially from a country that has none of that shit. And like just seeing that stuff, it's just terrifying because like it could
Mm.
be us one day. Like we wouldn't even know we're being watched, and all of a sudden we're all gone. It's like
It's
it
like I
is
always say,
terrifying.
it leads back to my basic like foundational concept of there's not 1 second that's guaranteed. So do exactly what you're feeling the most. Live honestly and truthfully with yourself because tomorrow, not guaranteed.
It isn't, and that's the scary thing. Everyone you know could be, and you could just be gone because someone decided that a decision that was not right. They went on that thought and ended up killing a bunch of people, and it's like, fuck. If you could lure yourself after that, it's horrible. It's just scary to think about someone could just do that and keep carrying on as if it was normal.
Yeah,
From
absolutely.
my standpoint, from where I stand though, like I'm not in a country that goes into much conflict, so I don't understand it as much. But yeah, it's just terrifying to a lot of people here that I know. Like the fact that someone can just do that to like a full country, we wanted to stay back from that. That's not what we've been trying to do. So that's why we're one of the safest, is because we don't want that shit to happen to us.
Yeah, and it's so good. I mean, we're the United States is a nation that was literally founded in conflict. So conflict is a big part of the American psyche. It's very hard to get out of the concept of everyone needs a gun. Like, folks, the right to bear arms was created when we were all walking around with matchlock muskets that would take a minute to reload. Like, if you wanted to shoot somebody, you really had to really want to shoot them. Like, you're gonna have to sit there. You can think about it while you're putting the paper in, the ball, the
if
powder.
you
By the time you're done,
if
you're like, actually, I'm really not that mad anymore. I'm not going to shoot you. Nowadays, you pull and shoot, and that's it. And you can shoot
yeah,
30 goddamn times or more.
30 times in like 5 seconds, and
Right.
you've and then after that you think about what you've just done, and then it mentally destroys some people because like
You've ended the man in your
even
own career.
yeah, it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's
humans are too
horrible.
emotional for semi-automatic weapons. We should all be. You all get muzzle loaders. That's it. You have to think about
Muzzle
shooting
loaders,
somebody. God damn it.
exactly. Like you while you're reloading that weapon, you're staring at that person doing the same thing.
Yes.
Like
Exactly.
when you do that, you just pull it out and they're gone. You can't even talk to that person. You don't know what their standpoint is. They could just be walking down the street or wherever they are, just doing what they're told, and then all of a sudden, that's just gone. It's like
Yeah.
it's horrible to think about.
That's why, again, in the modern world we live in, it's never more important to not take any moment for granted. You have to completely embrace what you're doing, and nothing is guaranteed. Live life exactly the way you want to. Be honest. Don't waste time.
That is a good statement right there.
And remember, folks, just to kind of take it on a less serious note, you are on a big ass rock in a void of space, traveling at many miles an hour, and there's a big ball of fire
Thousands.
next to you. Don't take things too seriously. It's all kind of fucking wild.
We're so small in the grand scheme of things. If we did, like, if we blew ourselves up, the universe keeps going. It's not gonna give a fuck. We're so small compared to the universe. It won't care. So you just gotta live your life the way you think it's worth. Like,
Exactly. That's all you've got. There's no, there might be a grand scheme, but we're definitely not aware of it. So
We're
the
not
the
in it
only
yet.
thing you have is living the way you want to.
Because once we're gone, the universe will just keep going. It's not gonna stop just because we're gone. And like it's been going for billions of years before us. Like it's not gonna stop.
No, not at all, and likely still billions left now.
Oh,
Uh,
there's hundreds of billions of years until like all the stars are gone. Like when
right.
the end of light happens, everyone's gonna be like every sense of life's gonna be gone before the end of the universe. Like we've got such little time to experience it, but it's such a wonderful time. You've just got to make it worth it.
Well said. Very true. There are limitless things to experience. You've got to experience them. Don't shut yourself up. Don't shut yourself down. Don't close off or close in. It's too much out there for that, and you don't have enough time.
Exactly. The amount of time we have is just it's only a speck, not even a speck of time in the universe. Like we're gone in a flash. But
That's it.
it's dependent on how you make it worth it to yourself and how you feel those emotions and the time that you have. It's all that makes worthwhile.
Very true. Very true. And folks, hashtag podcast interact with us. You want to get your word out on what we're talking about, or you want to talk about anything else. It literally does not matter. We're happy to hear from you. We're happy to steer a conversation in any direction. Engagement is great. So just let us know what you want to talk about. We've been going on for a little bit, Jimmy. Everyone else has been a little bit quiet for a
Yeah,
few.
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I'm just listening, taking it all in. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm just listening to what you guys have to say.
And you all
What are
went
you
you went on
enjoying?
you went on quite the tangent about the dangers of like nuclear war and then the vastness of the universe. I kind of wanted to chime in on that part just because like we all know about the heat death of the universe thing, but at the same time, like if the universe is infinite and still like infinitely growing, like what's stopping that? So like maybe our area will die of heat death, but maybe there's still parts that are still going and about to kind of like a
Ex-
wave from the center kind of thing.
the the thing is with the universe, there's points where you can't see past. So there's always that sense of like we're always trapped in this bubble, and it's always getting further and further away. Like every year we're losing sight of every like stars because the universe is just stretching and it goes past the point where we can see because light just travels only so far.
And remember
Like
too that anytime you see a star, anytime you look into the sky, you're literally looking into the past because depending on
literally
the distance that
millions
light
of
has,
years.
yes, that light has taken so long to reach you. So when astronomers see something with their naked eyes happen,
It's already
a
gone.
star, a star blink out, that could have happened thousands, millions of years
That
ago.
would
We're
have
just seeing it now.
exactly like
Half of the
stars we see
stars.
now are
Go
probably
ahead.
gone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
They're,
say. Half of the stars you see in the night sky right now don't actually exist anymore. Different ones
it's
probably do,
it's
and the light from them hasn't reached us yet.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the
That's
light
why
from the
every
sun
year
even takes 8 minutes. So like if the
That's it.
sun just disappeared magically,
It would
we
take you
wouldn't
eight
it
know it
take
minutes.
until
8
eight
minutes.
minutes. Yeah, we wouldn't notice
Yep,
until 8 minutes later.
yep. It's like there's new stars being created every second, but we won't see them like past our lifetime.
Mm-mm.
Every year there's new and more stars that are being discovered, and it's so cool because there's whole new systems that we've never even known existed. But just because that light's come, even though it might not exist now, that light's only just come to us, and it's so cool to think about that we'll be able to see that for the next couple million of years, like millions of years, even though it's not there. It's crazy how light works. It's honestly amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and how intimately tied the speed of light is to how we perceive reality. I mean, you can't see faster than the speed of light. We literally see at the speed of light because that's how light travels. That's how it bounces off and reflects off of things and bounces into our eyes. And the cones and rods in our eyes process it. It's like that's literally how someone can perceive something entirely differently, but we're all perceiving things only at the speed of light and at the rules of light, which we don't even fully understand.
Do you want me to tell you something that would make you feel really small? There's more stars and galaxies and everything like that than there are grains of sand on planet Earth. Like,
On all of planet Earth,
there's
yes.
on all of planet Earth, there's
Yeah.
more galaxies. It's crazy. And these galaxies can be the sizes of like millions of light years, and there's more of them than grains of sand on Earth. It's massive.
As
It's
someone
so
that
big.
believes that energy truly isn't created or destroyed, and that includes the energy that makes up our souls, I kind of have no choice but to believe in reincarnation. So the idea of there
Yeah,
being
exactly.
more stars and planets that could hold life near those stars than there are grains of sand on our planet is incredibly comforting because, I mean, holy, there's infinite new experiences. What's better than that?
Exactly. It's crazy because when a star blows up, it could create more planets.
Mm-hmm.
It can
Mm-hmm.
create more stars. Like even though they might not be the same size, like it's still recreating itself into something else. That matter hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. It still exists. It's just it depends what it's been created into after it's blown up or turned into
And
something different.
black holes, like if black
I was
holes
going to say, yeah.
grow large enough, they can even support their own solar system, their whole
Exactly.
new
Well,
whole
It's
galaxy.
crazy.
That's
It's
yeah. I
so
was gonna say
cool.
that's literally the center of our galaxy is a supermassive black hole surrounded
Every
by
galaxy,
big black holes. You know, yeah, exactly.
every galaxy is made of a black hole that is just able to retain this massive
It
spherical
is.
mass to
I've
make it
seen I've seen theories where some suns can be large enough to also sustain their own galaxy, not as large as a super black hole, but like smaller galaxies being
there's
sustained by their own massive suns that usually get wiped out when they go supernova.
there are suns that are called quasar stars
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that are the size of galaxies, and people they've discovered these. They're the size of galaxies. They're so big. Like when you look up into the sky and you see like a really big dot, that could be millions of years away, like light years away, but it's just that big, that it's that big in the sky. It's just so cool to think about that there's these suns that are the size of our whole galaxy combined. It's fucking, it's so cool to think about.
And of course,
Oh,
remember,
honestly.
depending on what you believe in, there are multiple universes just like this, layered on top of each other. So we're truly talking
Yep.
about infinite on a scale that people can't comprehend.
Like
I feel
there's
like infinite
plenty, yeah.
as a whole subject nobody can truly understand because it's just so like when you at a certain point when
It's so
something gets so
vast.
large or so vast, it just there's like we're a limited being. We can't understand infinite like we think we can. We can explain it, but we don't really know what that means.
Right. It's like the idea of nothingness. We can't really conceptualize not existing, and we can't conceptualize endless existence because it's too big in either direction for us to comprehend
Exactly.
fully.
Like people know a lot about it, but they will never truly understand the vastness of how big this universe is. Like I'm saying this like it is big, but it's probably 10,000 times bigger than what I'm thinking. Like it's massive. It's just crazy because we can only see so far, so we don't know if this universe expands thousands of times larger than what we can actually see. It's cool to think about that there could be whole other solar systems with life that don't even know we exist, and we don't even know they exist. But they're just so far past our horizon that we can't see them. It's just, it's crazy to think about that there could be more life, just we can't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And people assume that no contact means no life. And honestly, you look at
Look
our
at us.
technological, exactly. We have a very limited means of communicating with each other, let alone communicating with an entire galaxy or universe of different species. And they could communicate in an entirely different way that we couldn't
Exactly.
conceptualize. It's radio waves for
Exactly.
us, but radio waves might not even exist or be possible
Like,
in
like
their
how
environment.
do you know about that one like platinum record that's was put on one of the satellites years ago?
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That's like
yeah,
They
yeah.
put it
depicting.
on. They
I've
put it on
seen
the Voyager.
Yep,
Yeah,
two of them, two of them
I've
actually.
seen I've seen a lot of people theorize that like even if it does reach some sort of other life, that they could completely misunderstand the whole thing and realize it could take it as a threat rather than a
Yeah,
hey, we're here kind of thing.
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah, we
Because the way
also
we, yeah, the way we communicate could be 10 times different. Because like they could conceptualize that we're trying to say that we're gonna take control rather than we're here, we want to meet you, because they wouldn't have any idea, because it's the same thing. Like if a fucking alien sent us something, we're gonna probably fucking shoot it down. Like
true.
we're not gonna we're not gonna take that shit. Like it's just like humans and other life forms are just so scared because like we're so small, we just don't comprehend the
It's
fact
the
that
unknown.
there's other
If you don't
life.
know something, people just get scared.
Exactly.
Which is why it's always healthier to embrace unknown. Embrace fear. You can't making decisions out of fear will always be detrimental. It's not our instinct is to protect ourselves from pain because we're afraid. But if you live your life, if you make decisions purely out of fear, then you're not living the way you actually want to. You're not feeling your actual feelings. You're only feeling fear. So yeah, it all goes back
Yep.
to being able to embrace uncomfortable or unknown concepts and not be afraid. Easier said than done, obviously, but
Yeah, and if you're also joining in, please use hashtag podcast to speak with us directly. We are all keeping an eye on Twitter, so please use hashtag podcast to ask your questions, talk about a subject. We can talk about anything.
yeah, we've got about
Honestly,
20
like
minutes left to roll, so
the
still got
minds
time.
we have here with Mr. Troy and everyone else, it's like honestly we can talk about anything and have a good conversation about it, because everyone here is so open minded and open to subject that it's just amazing. And I love it. Personally, I love that like openness to new ideas and talking about new shit. It's just awesome.
Yeah, me too. I think I could literally talk nonstop about concepts that are new to people and new to me. Like I love teaching as much as I love to learn. So having a good conversation is like it's extremely important. There's very little things that are better.
Exactly. And that's why I appreciate being here. Just being able to have a chat with someone that's not gonna try and put me down because of an idea. It's like
Right.
it's
Right.
it's, it's relieving.
Just real free association. Give me 1 second.
Of course. Yeah, it's nice just having a place where we can talk about subjects and people can voice in their subjects over Twitter, and we'll do the talking about it. Um, and there's really no risk.
Exactly. No one here is judgmental because we know what it feels like to be judged. So it's like that openness to being able to talk about a subject that we might not know about is just
Mhm.
awesome.
Also, you mentioned it earlier. I've been hearing that beeping this whole time. I have no clue what that
Yeah,
is.
I know. I've been sitting here. I've been like, what
It's
the heck is
like
that beeping?
it's like someone set up an arcade right on the other side of this wall and is just
Sounds
playing
like an
Pong like
eardrop.
a madman.
Sounds like an eardrop, like that beep 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 beep
Do
beep beep
airdrops make
beep beep.
sense?
Yeah, I'm pretty. Well, I'm not sure for you, but yeah, they do for me.
I mean, I don't know. It just like it happened as soon as we started and as soon as we went live.
Yeah, the
And
beeping,
I
I don't
am
hear any
back.
beeping, so I have
It's an
no
alien.
clue.
We have an alien outside.
Possibly we were talking
Hey,
about them. And I am back. And Levante, I do see your post. Well, I mean, like I was saying, I think everybody knows how I feel. Communication is absolutely the most important thing in any human relationship. Learn to speak for a reason, since we have the amazing ability to communicate with each other in understandable terms. It's what makes us unique on this planet. Using that is the most important thing, whether it's and when I say relationship, not just on a romantic level, but literally any friendship, any relationship that you have, any association. Communication is key. Nobody here is a mind reader, and nobody here is so and there are people who can express different levels of empathy, but there are no true empaths to the point that they can immediately read everything that you're feeling, which is why communication is the most important thing you can do.
exactly. That I love communication. It's one of my favorite things about humanity, honestly. Even though there can be some bad times with it, it's just a miracle that we're able to sit here and talk. Like, look at other animals. Like like we can't understand them, but we can understand each other, which is more than enough for me, honestly. I would love to be able to talk to my cat though. That would be awesome.
I think
Yeah.
cats are probably going to be one of the first species that figure it out. One of these days, my cat's just going to look up at me and asshole. I was talking to you.
Yeah, asshole, asshole,
I can see it.
asshole.
I told you guys earlier, my cat says mama, so.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Cats are very, very like grammatically like they
Cats, if you guys
understand.
know them in the wild, they actually don't meow or anything like that. Cats have actually only done
Yeah,
that to communicate with humans.
Heckin' cheetahs chirp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
and
They chirp.
literally, kind of what's really funny about that is cats don't only meow specifically to get the attention of humans. They do it to mimic human children to get
Uh huh.
sympathy and attention from adult humans. Like that is some really high level shit.
Like they
Cats are
Telling you,
incredible.
understand as well.
Everybody's worried about the robots in AI. It's these cats I'm worried
It's
about.
cats. I've said it for years. When cats get opposable thumbs, that's it. We're all fucked. It's over.
Mm-hmm. When the
Like
cats become real life furries, they will dominate everybody and kill everybody. Just saying.
yeah. But
I
yeah,
just
like cats and dogs, like they've learned to understand like somewhat what we're saying, and like it's crazy to think
The thing is,
about because
dogs
like we
haven't.
can't
They
understand.
bark at each other in the wild, though.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
Yeah,
mentioning
yeah,
the thing
yeah.
about cats,
But
cats
yeah,
have
cats
only
cats are more
meowed
advanced.
at humans as a form of communication because they do not
Yeah,
meow at each other in the wild.
cats
Right.
are more advanced than dogs, but dogs are getting pretty close because like they understand somewhat of what people are saying, and it's crazy to think about. We can't understand what they're saying, but they somewhat will understand what we're saying. It's like, why can't we have the same thing?
Well, the thing is also with that though, it's not always the fact that they understand. It's also the tone of voice. I think that's what a lot of
Yeah.
scientists
Mhm.
it's
use.
the context. It's the context of speech that they're understanding primarily. Like they
They
understand
also understand
the
hand
tone.
movements.
Yeah, tone is especially important with the dog. I saw a video of somebody. I don't know if they were
Yeah,
animal
yelling at their
behaviorist.
dog,
Yes, yelling, "I love you, dog!" And the dog is
and it was
obviously getting
scared.
scared, but he's saying like in a sweet voice, like, "I'm gonna murder you, little dog." And the
Oh, I
dog
saw that.
hears the
Was so
tone,
happy.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and that's like case in point of the tone, the importance of tone. Dogs have definitely picked up on
It's not
tonal
words, it's
cues.
tone.
Yeah. They also pick up on hand movements as well. If you do
Yeah,
certain hand
Facial
movements, they
expressions. Yeah.
understand. Exactly. It's crazy to think that we don't understand what they're like trying to tell us. Like we just follow them and hope they somewhat tell us what they're doing by their
Some
actions.
some
but
dogs have learned to become very expressive, and
yes,
we do understand them, but sometimes people don't pick up on those clues. It's like dogs
Yeah.
communicate primarily physically with their expressions and how they do things, and not vocally as much.
Random note, apparently SWAT team's out.
Oh, what?
Someone's
good.
getting swatted.
Oh, dang.
Check out Twitter. There's SWAT trucks.
Oh, whoever's getting swatted, tough luck. You should have made better decisions. I'm playing.
I wonder who's getting swatted, man. Whoever's getting swatted, I hope you're listening to the podcast, dude.
Yeah, hey, we're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna be down at the
They
prison
knock
at
on
some
the
point.
door,
We're
FBI,
gonna be
open up, and you're
with
just
any
sitting there
luck.
listening to the podcast.
We're gonna
With
be
any
at the
luck, you
prison
can get a
interviewing
phone.
you at some point.
With any luck, you can get a phone slipped into Boiling Broke, so you can continue to listen to us while you're locked up. We appreciate the support. Best of luck.
Good luck, man.
But yeah, animals are awesome.
Dogs have literally evolved to grow. Like they evolved eyebrows and the ability to raise their brows when they're
Oh,
surprised.
yes.
Just specifically for
It's
humans.
crazy. Yeah, because that bond between them grew so much that they needed that evolution, and it's
Mhm.
crazy to think
That and the
about.
constant domestication the humans have tried to do to animals, and dogs being one of the most successful.
Yes, only limited
It took
domestication with
two
cats.
times. It took 2 times for cats
Mm-hmm.
to domesticate them because they are just so emotionally involved. Like they get scared, so they don't want to be around humans. But they've kind of grown to evolve to be around mainly humans, like domesticated animals at least. It's crazy to think
Well,
about
you
that the
say that, but
evolution
you've got to
changed.
think back to ancient times, like Egyptians. Cats were worshipped.
Yeah, they were
They were
worshipped.
treated as gods.
There's an
Yeah, but
old story that the Assyrians, when they invaded Egypt, there's two things that are said about this. Hopefully, it's the former and not the latter. But when the Assyrians invaded Egypt, it said that they either painted cats on their shields or literally nailed cats to their shields because the
I
Egyptians
hope it's the first.
saw them as, yeah, me too, saw them as sacred creatures and therefore wouldn't engage in combat.
yeah, that's the I'm
I
pretty sure it is the
know
first one.
Vikings,
Hope it's not
when
the
they
second one.
traveled, they'd always have a cat on the ship.
Yeah, they
Yeah, on the
also had
longboat,
pictures.
right.
They also had pictures and stuff on their shields and stuff from things that they worshipped as well, because they felt like when they leave their home, they want to be close to that religion that they've been so connected to. So they have these pieces of armor that represent that religion, just so they feel like they're closer to home when they're out doing their voyages and stuff, just so they feel calm and relaxed. It's crazy to think about that. That's what helped them
Yeah.
get through a lot of shit.
Cats.
And don't forget that they scare away creepers too.
Yeah.
Fucking cat.
We're about we have about like 10 minutes left. Be sure to use hashtag podcast if you have anything else you want to say. Yeah. I had a full thought there and I just completely lost it as soon as I opened my mouth.
It happens.
You know how it is. I was just like, okay, these are the important things. Get them out.
Yeah, last chance, folks. Hashtag podcast. If you've got anything you want us to discuss as kind of closing
Any
remarks.
questions, concerns, or anything else? We're gonna start closing out now, though, guys. So, do know if you do tweet at us, we will answer it. But we're gonna start going through some last moment messages from everybody. I'll let some of the quiet ones talk first. So, Shy, you're first.
Okay. God dang it! Of course it's me first. No, it's just it's real fun doing this with you guys, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. And I thank all of you for listening and chiming in with your tweets. It's real fun.
Definitely. And Jimmy?
Oh, honestly, I just enjoy my time so much being here because I get to talk about things that I usually don't really talk about because people don't understand it. So it's just fun to have people to be able to experience like conversation with that, understand somewhat of what I'm talking about. It's just super interesting to me.
To answer your question, Levante, it'd be kind of cool if we could, get Minecraft at the arcade. That'd be really interesting.
That'd be interesting.
I do
I would
know there's
honestly,
like
yeah.
a knockoff Flappy Bird. I forgot what it's called. There is Uno. Me and the
Flappy Parrot.
podcast team, we do play a lot of Uno there.
Yeah,
So
we really do. A little too much.
it's very fun. Um, but Ben, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I mean, not really. I think Jimmy and Shy kind of covered everything with, just enjoying doing this, and it's fun. I like doing it. Um, yeah, it's pretty much, kind of covered that. So
Troy.
As always, thank you, my podcast family, so much for joining me in the booth. It's always a great opportunity to be able to go live and discuss amongst ourselves, discuss amongst the people in the city. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's a pleasure, as always, to have you. A special thank you to those of you that interacted with the podcast with hashtag podcast. I'll be doing a lot of promoting of that and going around talking to people just to get even more interaction. But thank you, as always, and be good to one another.
Of course, of course. And once again, thank you everybody who has tuned in today. It's been amazing. It's been fun. I know it's been a bit since we've had a podcast because of last week. All of the events, all the marriages and everything that was happening. It was crazy, but it was so much fun. We're going to start getting back into the gist of everything. And we do have some news. Troy's actually going to be joining us on a lot more podcasts. It's no longer just going to be a medical segment when he's around. He's joining part of the family. And, you're going to hear his voice a lot more. Do you know tomorrow we do have a podcast? It'll be same time, same time. We'll be actually having the owner of Benny's joining us tomorrow for Wicked Wednesdays. So,
All right.
do keep an ear out for that. But a lot of, once again, you guys are the reason why we do this. We love doing this. We love communicating with you guys. And we appreciate all the hashtag podcasts. I'd also like to give a shout out to Blackout Security for, y'all been downstairs the whole time, keeping it real, keeping us safe. Much appreciated for the newfound security. And basically, that's about it. We love all you guys. This podcast team signing out. After this, we're probably going to head out to Vanilla Unicorn. I was noticing their tweets. They are open, so we may head out there. We may head out to Burger Shot. You never know where you're gonna catch us, guys.
Do some stripping.
Yeah, I'm
Ayy.
headed there from one job to another.
Yeah, so we're
One
probably
job to
gonna head
another,
over
pretty
to
much.
Vanilla Unicorn, guys. So meet us out there. Remember when you are there, do pay attention to the ladies, though. Don't bring up anything from my work, but go support Vanilla Unicorn, guys. Go support our other family out there.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go there, probably have some fun, chill out. So that is it. Podcast
Ayy.
team, tune out, y'all. See ya.
See you.
Bye bye.